Hey guys, Tommy here at the bar, hanging out in my office. I posted a video a little while back about basically, don't be a basic bro. And it was simply telling people to start programming, stop working out and start training. And the difference of training and working out is working out, you don't go in with a given plan, a systematic program. When you're training, you do. And you will see progress because you are tracking everything and you're on a system to get you better. Now, how do you program? How do you design? I'm here to help you with a little bit of beginning stuff for that. So don't be a basic bro. Volume 2, Programming Introduction. So the first thing you need to realize when you want to figure out is, what are your goals? Muscular strength, power, or speed, muscular endurance. There's so many different things. What's your goal? Do you just want to lose weight? Do you just want to be healthy? You want to build some muscle, hypertrophy? What do you want to do? Okay? So there's different set and rep schemes within barbell or weight training motions for these specific goals. Okay? So we'll start from the top. Okay? Strength, of course, my favorite. You have set and repetition schemes. A set, of course, is the number of times you visit that exercise, okay? And the repetition is the number of times when you visit that exercise that you execute that lift, okay? So, strength is going to be 60 to 80% of your one repetition maximum. That is the amount of weight you can do, the most amount of weight you can do for one single repetition. Okay. Some people also do a 3 rep or 5 rep max too, and then you can determine what your 1 rep max is as well. But anyway, for simplicity, we'll go with 1 rep max. So 60 to 80% of your 1 rep max, you'll do 2 to 6 sets of 1 to 6 repetitions. Okay. So you want to be lifting heavier. Okay. And really, that's kind of, we'll say that's a beginner, because you'll still go heavier than that. Ultimately, you get 90, 95%, but these guidelines are ACSM guidelines, okay? I have, and I do, and I lift up to 90, 95%. Usually don't go 100%. I don't go all out. 95% seems like it's all out, though. So, with that, you do want to have ample rest time, 2 to 5 minutes of rest, because you want to be as strong as you can for each set. You're not trying to be tired, you're not working on muscular endurance or endurance, okay? So, your next is power. The difference between power and strength, they're actually virtually very close in their percents and their rep schemes, between 30 and 80, 90%, all the way up. But your difference is you have a constraint of time, okay? You want to move that weight as quickly as you can, as powerfully as you can, for 1 repetition, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. But it's not about just getting it up. Strength has nothing to do with speed, and time, power does, okay? So it's an explosive movement. So it's virtually the same guidelines, rest periods the same, set and rep schemes are the same, but it's within time constraints, okay? So you want to be able to handle that weight powerfully and with great ease. Box jumps, resistance band training with their barbells, sprints, and you don't even need implements like that. You can do squats with a lighter weight and just be explosive with each repetition, okay? So ACSM standards are 30 to 60%. In all trueness, that could be up as just as much as strength, 95%, but it's with the idea in mind that you're doing each repetition with precise skill to be fast, to be with full of speed. So your next is muscular endurance, okay? Opposite of strength. I mean, it's still a strength movement, essentially, but muscular endurance is how much you can move a weight over and over consistently through time. Okay, so with muscular endurance, you're going to have less than 70% ideally of your 1 rep max. You want to be able to really get some good repetitions out of that. You'll want to do 2 to 4 sets, 10 to 25 repetitions. Okay, rest time you want to be kept to a minimum 30 seconds to a minute, because it's endurance. You want to keep your heart rate up as much as you can, and you're trying to tire yourself out basically, and build this stamina and endurance ability that you'll be able to keep going. And in the future, that's what you want to be able to do, not necessarily put on more weight. So, finally, you have hypertrophy. Hypertrophy is just the general building of muscle. Okay, not for strength, not for size. You will get some strength, and you will get some size. You will get some speed, it is mostly for size. Okay, but you will get some strength. You will get some muscular endurance. So with this, beginners 70 to 85%, and you can even go heavier than that to 70 to 100%. Depends on your skill level. Okay, but you're looking at 1 to 3 for beginners, 3 to 6 for advanced lifters, of 1 to 12 repetitions, 8 to 12 for beginners, 1 to 12 for advanced. If you're lifting heavy, most people training for hypertrophy do not go with these heavier numbers. Again, these are ACSM guidelines for this range. I feel as though most people training for muscular size are going with sometimes even less than 70%, sometimes like 60 to 85%, and they're doing sets of 8 to 15 even. I've even seen guys, bodybuilder types, do as many reps as they can for each set, because they're trying to pump blood into that muscle and get growth and a pump and fullness and roundness. Okay, so rest time with this, ACSM standards are 2 to 3 minutes, but again, bodybuilder types, some of them are doing 30 seconds of rest, some of them are doing drop sets and supersets, so they're doing other workouts, other exercises between their main exercise as well, to get an extra pump, get more work done. So those are some basic things right there. Feel free to look it up. I encourage you to look it up. If you didn't get to write it down, rewatch the video, but look these things up. Know these things. Figure out what your goals are and study your goals and become your goals. So some things that you want to do. I gave you those set and rep ranges and your percents. With these, you want to follow these guidelines, those ranges, as a template, and help and design a program to get better. Okay. You have what's called progression. Okay, progression is over time adapting to get better. Okay, basically, and then you have overload, which is overloading with a stimulus that is a challenge, basically. So then you have progressive overload, combining those two. So over time, you are adding a stimulus that is affecting the body, influencing it, and challenging it with the idea to get better over time. Okay, you're progressively challenging the body over time, greater and greater and greater, as you continually adapt and get better. If you did the same thing over and over again, the same reps, the same weight, the same number of sets, then you're just going to get really good at doing the same sets, reps, and weights on that exercise. Okay? Now, you do want to do the same exercises to get better. Okay? That's how you get good at something. You want to be good at bench pressing? Then do bench press. You want to be good at squat? Do squat. You want a big chest? Then pick several chest movements. Do them consistently and persistently over a good time frame, over a training block, 6 to 8 or even 12 weeks, and monitor your progress. Okay? Monitor your change and your adaptation. So, progressive overload, getting better gradually over time, and you want to gradually improve so you can manipulate your number of sets, your number of reps, and your weight. I don't recommend doing all three at once unless it's just ridiculously easy, but if you're following strength, you're with 6 repetitions or less, right? So if you were just doing 6 repetitions, go ahead and add weight. Drop it down to maybe 5 repetitions and you're adding weight. Add another set. See what I'm getting at? And in the end, your total volume is number of sets, number of repetitions, and the number of weight combined. Okay? And you want that number to ultimately grow. Progression is not linear, though. Linear meaning a line that just goes straight up over time. Business is not like that. Success in life is not like that. And training is certainly not like that. Although we would like to, in all aspects of that, it is not realistic. Progression is going to go up. It's going to slightly dip when through recovery phases. Going to go back up. It'll dip when you have injuries. You have to have recovery. That's how you avoid injuries, going through recovery phases. So recovery is simply backing up 3 or 4 weeks to what you did before, or even just having a light week. Okay, this way your body can catch up and heal and adapt, and then you'll be stronger and healthier and feel good. Earlier I said if you want a big bench, if you want a big squat, you got to do those things. You got a big bench, you got to bench all the time. That's specificity. The specificity is simply, if you want to be good at something, if there's a talent or a skill that you want to master, then you practice that talent or skill with the idea to master it. Okay, that's specificity. If you want to be a fast sprinter, then you must sprint fast to become a fast sprinter. Regularly, practice that. If you want to be a great long distance runner, then you must run long distances. Okay? Powerlifter, bodybuilder, whatever. You want big biceps. And look at those things intimately to figure out which one needs the most attention. Periodization. I'm going to make a separate video about periodization, but periodization is simply smaller training blocks designed for an ultimate bigger goal. Okay? You may focus on speed, you may focus on power, speed and power, hypertrophy and strength, but ultimately, what's your goal? It's strength. So it all leads up together. But you have these things that you manipulate within your progressive overload: frequency, intensity, and time. The FIT acronym. Frequency, of course, is the number of times that you train a week. That's typically how people track their progress. Of course, more often you train, the more load you have, the more time you need to have good recovery as well. Intensity is how much weight, how much load you have on your barbell. Okay, how fast you're going if you're sprinting. Okay, the intensity. You can measure this by a rate of perceived exertion. That's a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the toughest, 1 being the simplest. RPE is the abbreviation for that. And then you have time, which, of course, is rest. More rest makes it easier. Less rest makes it more challenging. So stop being a basic bro. Use these principles. We'll talk more in the future about these principles and elaborate even more in depth. I want you to learn how to make your programming so you're not basic. So be smart. Own your craft. Don't be a dumb meathead. Be a smart meathead. I'll see you at the bar.